This week we're talking about the most terrifying witness that I've seen so far, Diablita's boyfriend. She's accused of being a devoted associate of MS-13 who led 5 young men to an ambush where 4 of them were hacked and clubbed and chiseled and knifed to death in a terrible, terrible scene. There was a lot of testimony for the prosecution. There were expert witnesses, there were eyewitnesses. The most terrifying was the accused's boyfriend, who was just a stone cold killer. He testified against her. The role he played was he actually chased down and killed some of these victims. One of them managed to run and escape, and he actually came back to testify against Ms. Escober. The boys were targeted because they were putting up social media pictures where they were making MS-13 gang signs. The witness, Alex, he did say that, yes, that's what I did. We did that to get girls. He explained that basically they weren't in a gang. They were doing it to get female attention. It is very, very challenging to cover a trial because you're not allowed to bring in a cell phone. Basically, all you can bring in is one of these and some pens. You have to, word for word, get every single piece of information that you're going to get down in that pad. And then when they have a break, since you don't have your phone with you and you can't bring it in the building, you have to run outside and type these notes up as fast as you can and get them in over and over and over again throughout the day. It is very, very challenging physically to do that, but more importantly, to sort through the hundreds of pages of notes that you take. I literally filled up these 2 Steno pads in 2 days. You have to basically figure out exactly what is the news because they go into detail on everything, and you need to be able to sort through and figure out exactly what is important to the story to convey exactly what's going on. And that's very, very challenging for any reporter. Diablita's boyfriend, who is a cooperating witness for the prosecution, he's been convicted in the murders and he's awaiting sentencing. So when they asked him, what were you arrested for or why are you in prison? He said just calmly, racketeering and the murder of 4 people at a park in Central Islip on April 11th, 2017. He said that the way that I would say I went to the store and got some milk and bread. And then they asked him, is there anyone in the courtroom who was involved in the planning and execution of the murder of these 4 young men? And he calmly just looked around the room. He looked right at me. He looked at everybody who was in the room. And then he looked at her. He looked back at the prosecutor and said, yes. It just went on from there. They asked him 50, 60 questions about MS-13, and he answered every single one with no emotion. It was terrifying to be in the presence of this individual. Toward the end of the trial, the government brought one of the most convincing pieces of evidence, which were taped phone calls between the accused and her boyfriend, who was in jail at the time, where she is describing her role in this crime, why she did it, and that she was happy she did do it.
Nada. I was gonna be happy, porque yo la verdad estaba feliz.
And then after that, 2 days later, they had the summations. And during the summations, the defense tried to explain away the phone calls by saying, oh, she wasn't saying the truth. She was saying what she needed to say so that her boyfriend in MS-13 didn't think that she was a risk. It wasn't a very convincing argument.
She was not saying what was true. She was saying what she felt she needed to say to her boyfriend to convince MS-13 that she was not a risk.
The jury came back on Monday morning, which is today, and deliberated for all of 18 minutes, and guilty on all counts was the verdict. Now that the verdict's come in, she's just going to be awaiting sentencing, which is the next step in this process. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to be kept abreast of all the stories we're reporting on for the New York Post, go ahead and hit the subscribe button.